Stitt, and I'm here with Tom Gardy in his excellent garage in Fairhope, Alabama, and we're about to install the Triumph Scrambler 400X mud flap extension. Say hello, Tom.
Hey, first thing we think we're going to do is we're going to take this fender off. Now, I believe that we'll take the 6 bolts here on the top of the fender and just slide it out. Will be the best way to do it. Looks like we're going to need a 5mm Allen. Oh yeah, that works good. You have to be careful with these bolts when you put them back in, because if you over torque them, your fender will splinter because it's nothing but plastic. Billy, you be the official holder of the parts.
You got it, brother. I'm honored to be here with you. I see your videos all the time, and they're so enjoyable. And it meant the world to me when you called and said, come over and let's do something together.
Well, it was good having you. I've been wanting to have you over, or at least try to get our bikes out and go riding. You know, because our weather down here, you know, is not very conducive to riding.
No.
If it's not so hot, it's too rainy. And we just got lucky today without a bunch of rain, but it's cloudy and it's supposed to be coming later in the week.
Well, what we're doing today is exactly why I got back into this hobby. It brings people together that probably would have never crossed paths before.
Well, that's for sure. I ride a Triumph too, so we're Triumph brothers.
That is exactly right. I fell in love with Triumph when I was a kid. I had 2 neighbors that had them, and I would go to their houses and sit on a box like you have right there and watch both of them tinker with it. It just mesmerized me, and just have such a excitement about these bikes. Then Dad and I used to watch the Steve McQueen movie, The Great Escape, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is the perfect motorcycle.
Well, I got started in English bikes with Norton. I've had 2 Norton Commandos that I've reconditioned over the years, and of course, the new Nortons aren't being imported to the United States yet, and I probably couldn't afford one anyway. So I decided I'd go with Triumph. And I tell you, that T120 that's an amazing motorcycle.
Well, it's beautiful. We'll have to make sure to pan the video over there in a little bit and get some shots of it. When you pulled up at our bike night at Billy's, I was just like, wow, there's a Triumph guy for sure.
You know, back in the old days, I started riding in the late 60s, early 70s. And it was right at the time when the Japanese bikes were coming in. We still had BSA, Norton, and Triumph dealers where I live.
Right.
And they were really suffering. And Yamaha, go ahead and pull it out. Oh yeah, this is gonna work all right. It's gonna be just fine. This is gonna be just fine. Okay, Billy. Okay, so we got the fender off. One of the important things you must do when you're doing these fender extensions, and as you see here, Billy's got a really nice one from Triumph. It's the stock extension. Basically, those just glue onto this. However, if this is dirty, and you can see how dirty that is, your glue will not set, so you must clean it completely. Now let's see, this goes to the top, this is the bottom. So that means we're going to do this end down here. So we're going to give it a little shot of isopropyl alcohol. This is a really good old reliable isopropyl alcohol cleaner is what I use, because it doesn't leave any kind of a residue once you clean it. You've been riding this thing.
I'm not scared to.
That's what they're made for.
Boy, I'm so glad you had some time to hang out today.
Hey, I'm glad to do it. My wife says if I don't make any friends, no one's going to come to my funeral.
Oh, can we go ahead and hit all of it? Or am I asking too much?
Don't need to.
Okay.
Don't need to.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Okay, so you can see that cleaned it up. It's even dry. The alcohol dries really quick down here. But we're going to hit it one more time just to make sure.
It looks like they already have that ridge in there, anticipating this
You know,
project.
I think you're right.
Wow. That's gonna be sharp.
Why did they just put the damn thing on there from the factory?
I don't know.
I mean, what did that save them? A half a cent per bite?
Exactly.
Please.
But the goal is to have less spatter on the radiator,
Yeah, you need
and
this.
it definitely should make things a lot easier to maintain.
Well, I've got one on my bike just to keep it from splattering up into the catalytic converters
Okay,
right in there in the
gotcha.
front. Now, there's no reason to clean this because it's clean and there's glue underneath this, so
Okay.
we can't mess with it.
And it is logoed. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. Okay, now Billy, you hold that right there.
Okay.
Well, there ain't much way you can miss it.
No.
The fender actually has indentions where you put this thing in. Okay, let's. There you go. I think you got the right punch. There you go. The spot where it's supposed to come off wasn't working.
Well, I've had it for a while, and it's been in my hot car.
Oh yeah. Okay, you hold her tight.
Okay.
You know, generally you only get one shot with these kind of things. You know, once it hits, it's in. There, that's it. Let's get a clamp. I used on my project, and you see they're padded,
Okay.
so they won't mess up your
Yeah.
fender.
You've got all the right stuff.
You got to have the right tool to do the job right.
I like it.
There you go. Now we let that sit there and bond for a while. Okay, we've got the fender extender glued in place. Now we're simply going to put the fender back on. That's a very simple process. We set the fender in place, we bring it up, and we finger tighten, just get the thread started. And there's 6 bolts we're going to put in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now we just simply hand tighten, but we're not going to torque down on them. Just going to spin them up.